Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I just recorded this entire video, and after the video realized that I had screwed it up. So what did I do? I did not quit. I went and made myself a cup of cinnamon coffee, and here we go. Let me get a sip. We're going to do this thing again. First thing I wanted to show here is this tweet from Mr. Intuitive, who is the official cool guy of the Digital Asset Investor channel. One of the Digital Asset Investors followers ran up to me on the street and said, "Are you the cool guy?" I said, "You got that right." That sounds like the way a cool guy would answer. Then we both stood on the street for 5 minutes together talking about how no one walking by us knows about what's coming. Shout out to Otis. And so, and the official cool guy actually sent me a message and he asked me to shout out Otis. So we shout out Otis again. So it's not every day that someone has the privilege of bumping into an official cool guy. Now, the next person that bumps into the official cool guy, what I would do if I were you, cool guys, I would think, like to go have beers. If I were you, I'd grab him and say, "Let's go have a beer. It's on me," and find out what his story is. I'm intrigued by the official cool guy story, and the reason is, not only is he cool, but he was in a picture at the Bitcoin conference in Miami with Paris Hilton and with Mike Novogratz, of all people. So I know that he's got himself a story, but he is cool, and we do know that here. All right. Crypto bull XRP versus Bitcoin chart tells the story. We broke first resistance and pushed us down for 50 days. However, we're still in this wedge. When we break out of this wedge, I expect a very fast surge to $10 and beyond. Well, I love that. I hope he's right. And the Digital Asset Investor, here's what I'm looking for. I expect a very fast surge to $10 to $20 or $10 to $50 when this SEC lawsuit is finally resolved. That's what I expect. And I do believe it's going to be a very fast surge, and I think we're going to be moving at dollars, not cents. That's what I believe. Okay. XRP, and by the way, at the end of this video, I'm going to show you a couple of more of those BitBoy clips. This guy, I don't know if he does, but he keeps saying that somebody's feeding him information, so stay tuned. XRP now forming a bull flag. This is still a continuation pattern. Let it play out and enjoy the ride up. And then one of our old classic buddies that does this charting, he's a trader. Such pullbacks are normal. XRP hit 38% fib retracement level, and so traders booked benefit. The direction is up. $1 is a psychological level as it defines XRP as the standard. 1 XRP equals $1. We know it doesn't end here. It is just the beginning. He's so right. Okay, wanted to show you this. This is from John Deaton's Twitter handle for his law firm. Financial Services Innovation Coalition calls for investigation of Jay Clayton and William Hinman for potential conflicts of interest. In one of the more shocking stories of greed and appearance of corruption coming out of the Trump presidency, they were given no specific regulatory framework on how to treat cryptocurrencies, and the result was a free hand for Clayton and Hinman to pick winners and losers at whim, which opened the door to potential abuse and self-dealing. As regulators tried to legitimately come to terms with cryptocurrency industry, it is imperative that all parties feel the process is fair and well-reasoned. These serious allegations of improprieties deserve a clear vetting. Their stated mission is to focus on the nation's attention. Anyway, bottom line is this organization is calling for an investigation. That's a step. First step the first step was all of us pointing out the absurdity of what's going on. Second step is for some of these legit organizations to pick it up. I don't know anything about that organization. I hope they're legit. Ron Hammond, Chair Gensler's response to Senator Warren is now public. Last week, Gensler mentioned he was putting together legislative proposals for Congress. In this letter, he states the legislative priority should center on crypto trading, lending, and DeFi platforms. So you see where he's going. Jeremy Hogan tweeted this out, and he's so right here. Dear Gary Gensler, straight to him. We know you understand Ethereum very well. We also understand you recently said that U.S. securities laws are very clear. Therefore, the millions of Americans who own Ether would like to know the answer to a simple question. Is Ether a security, yes or no? And then he goes on. Thank you in advance for protecting U.S. investors from trading an unregistered security by answering this one clear and simple question. And yes, we of course understand that nothing you say is the official position. Well, I do disagree with that part. I'm tired of the unofficial position. You're being paid by the U.S. taxpayers to give us the official position of the SEC. Quit all this hemming and hawing and, oh, that's not my opinion. That's bull, and you know it. It's baloney. You also know that it's baloney that this is all clear. Gary Gensler knows, and nobody has ever accused Gary Gensler or Jay Clayton for that matter, or William Hemon. Nobody's ever accused any of them of being dumb. But what they are doing is they are intentionally, it's not an accident, they are intentionally dancing around giving the investors they claim they want to protect a real answer. Yes, officially from the SEC, not from your opinion. If I wanted your opinion, then the taxpayers shouldn't be paying you. The taxpayers are paying you to give us an official position so that we can be protected as investors. An official position, not a lawsuit so that you can try to milk billions out of Ripple and then maybe a position comes out of it. An official position. What they're doing, folks, I've said it before on here, the reason and this is not the way this is not why this agency was created. It was not created to be vague so that it would give them the opportunity to later set speed traps and try to catch people in a lawsuit. That's what they're doing. Let's cut through the bull. What they're doing is they're intentionally not telling you this is a security, that's a security, because then it opens them up to go and sue you so that they can try to get money out of you. That's what this is really about. It's a trap. It's like Greg Kidd said. They set a trap. They're wanting to set traps so that they can get money, so that they can get fines, huge sums of money. That's not why this organization was created. That is baloney that they do it this way, and Congress should do something about it. If we have a country anymore that even has any kind of laws, because from what I can tell, the powerful people don't have to pay for anything. Who went to jail over the 2008 financial crisis in finance? Not one person. Bernie Madoff, maybe? Is that it? Until people start going to jail and people start being held accountable for what they do, and government, and here's another thing. You ever notice government officials are never fired? Why are private industry people fired when they don't do the job, but government officials never get fired? Government officials need to be fired more than anybody. If you're not getting it done, or you're not being straightforward with the people that you're supposed to be protecting, fire their ass. Where are the people that are supposed to fire these people? Anyway, enough of that. But I say all that to show you something, Gary. Okay, if you're listening, Gary, C.S. May sent me this. These are the kind of things that happen when you're not, when it's one thing to say, oh, this is very clear, when you know that it's not very clear to anybody. It's another thing to be comfortable running with that, and to know that you're not going to be held accountable for saying something that you know everybody else knows is not true. You can't say it's very clear and have this kind of stuff keep going without people like Ryan Selkis coming out and doing these write-ups on you. This guy did an 11-part write-up basically calling you Goldman Gary. He's calling the SEC chairman Goldman Gary, and the only reason this kind of stuff is being done is because the people smell this stink that's coming off the SEC, and not just the SEC, but any of these parts of government that are playing these kind of games instead of just doing their job, which is representing we investors out here, not trying to play politics and figure out how you can impose fines and things like that on people and companies. That's not what this is for. This is to protect investors and to promote innovation in this country, not hold it back. Come on. But this is what you get when you're saying things that you know is not true and the public can smell is not true, and there are other agenda in play. Then David Schwartz comes out with this. A man whose phone battery is dying is capable of anything. When you surround an army, leave an outlet free. Do not press a desperate foe too hard. The art of war. That's a pretty timely tweet, I think. Now, I just happened to run across this last night, and I tweeted it out because there's so many of you out there who haven't been around the last few years. This goes in the All the World's a Stage file. Brad Garlinghouse, December 7th, 2017, he says, there were 15 senior executives from JP Morgan in Ripple's office this afternoon. And I remember seeing that, and I remember saying, this is one of two things. Either JP Morgan is sending their people on an intelligence gathering mission to then try to steal what Ripple's doing for themselves, or they're really working with Ripple. And now we know that, what's her name, Sandy something or other, she was a long time JP Morgan person that's with Ripple now, on the board, I believe. Okay, Samsung is reportedly planning to test the functionality of South Korea's central bank digital currency pilot via its Galaxy smartphone. Everything's moving forward, folks. Now, this is significant right here, and I want you to make sure you understand this. Accenture was one of the first investors in Ripple. If you really look around, Accenture was behind, I think, coining the term fourth industrial revolution. They're behind all the things that are going on in fintech and AI. They're hooked up to the World Economic Forum. These guys, it's one of the companies behind what's going on with digital assets and fintech and the innovation that's happening that they're calling the fourth industrial revolution. If someone is hacking them, there's no telling what is about to come out from this company, because these guys have been there from the beginning. A hacker group using Lockbit ransomware says they have hacked consulting firm Accenture and will release data in several hours, CNBC reporter tweeted. That right there could be a big deal, folks. All right, I found two clips from BitBoy. You got to watch these. Let's just go ahead and do it now.
Do you think this company is scared of getting cut down? No, nothing. Who runs this game? The banks. Who is Ripple working with? The banks. If you believe that the U.S. government is more powerful than the people who run the banks, you are clueless to how our world financial system works. The U.S. government is subservient to the central banks around the world, who are owned by a few entities. I would just say that. Very small amount of people that own most of this stuff. U.S. government subservient to them. So let's think about this. Ripple is making moves with banks around the world. These banks, SBI, Santander, not RBI. I can't remember what the other one was. We just looked at the one in Japan. Okay, I think that was SBI. There are all kinds of banks around the world that they're working with. Okay, I don't have the list right in front of me. These banks already know what's coming. They already know they're getting a slap on the wrist. That's why they're working with these banks. These banks are working with Ripple while this lawsuit's going on because they know it's going to go nowhere. So we're looking at another bank here, another ODL partner for Ripple. Do you think this company
That's the first clip. Here's the second. Listen to this.
I'm going to say this every day probably when we talk about XRP. The key here is RippleNet. The key here are the products that Ripple is offering. XRP is integrated into that technology. People say, well, why can't you just create a software that all the banks can use together? It's very difficult. It's extremely difficult, and Ripple has solved that problem. It's solved. They're coming out with the products. XRP is now integrated in this. The banks slowly but surely are starting to use this. Something 2 years ago I would have told you was crazy. I thought the XRP was nuts. And be honest, y'all are a little nuts. Let's let nice words here. Y'all are a little crazy. But guess what? We like it. So am I.
Yes.
I'm going to say this every day.
I think that you have to be a little look, maybe crazy is not the word. I think you have to have something in you, in my opinion, to invest in things that nobody else is investing in, and everybody thinks you're crazy for investing. At a minimum, you have to be a hyper individualist. You don't care what the crowd thinks of you. And shoot, I can say that for myself. But I can't. Since 2013, I have been called stupid, crazy, you name it. I've been called it only because I invest in digital assets and talk about them all. It's like I'm some kind of whack job. Well, guess what? I was right. I'm not a whack job. You were right. If you're listening to me, you've been listening to me for a long time. You were right. I was right. We are right. And even the Bitcoin people of the world are starting to realize it because it's always made sense. Now, I want to show you this. Every time the market begins to surge, I try to remind you, you've got to have, if you're in crypto, you got to have an antivirus and you got to have a virtual private network. It allows you to surf the web anonymously. I've got one. Everybody that's in this space needs to have one. Pure VPN. I'm going to put this link in the description of this video at the very top. Click on the link. They're giving 2 years, 73% off, $2.91 per month for 2 years. So that's like a discounted rate. I highly recommend. There's not anybody that's listening to me that doesn't need a VPN. If you don't have one, click on the link and sign up, because it's extremely important for you to have that. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family to go get a VPN.